Now, you can socially distance yourself all you want, girl, but I'm telling you, that mask does not fit tightly around your face. Hi guys, Squad here. Welcome to a first look video of Tramsim. Tramsim is a game that I was given a key to yesterday, and today is release day. Now, when I played it yesterday, it was a pre-release version, and frankly, there were too many issues with it for me to make a video on it. So today, I've waited till release day, and now I'm going to make a first look video. I've had a quick poke around to fix some of the issues that I saw, but I do still see some problems. We'll go through those as we, go through the video. So this is a game that is actually built by a developer called View App, I think it is, and they made OMSI 2 Vienna add-ons. And what they've done is they've made this thing called Tramsim, and it's set in Vienna. As far as I can tell, there's only one route in the game, and that is a 25-kilometer route through Vienna. So it's very much set in Austria. The actual tram that you get, this is the only tram that you get in the game as well. So you've got one tram and one route. This is the tram that you get. It's pretty well modeled. Internally, systems are, well, I mean, most of the buttons are clickable, but there's a lot of stuff that isn't there as well. But it's not bad. The audio was pretty decent in the game, as we'll take a look at everything in a second. And graphics-wise, I believe it's built on the Unreal Engine. So, Tramsim World's built on the Unreal Engine, and when you look around, you can kind of tell the differences. Like, it's the same engine, but it's just been implemented differently. I've got the graphics on as high as I can get them, so this is the best that you're going to get. But the frame rate's pretty solid. I will give it that. I've also got COVID mode turned on. This is one of the AI people walking around. You can see he's socially distancing himself from me. I don't blame him. They've got, I don't know. I don't know if it's a gimmick. I think it's a gimmick. It can't be serious having COVID masks, right? But it's just a sign of the times in general that you can now turn on COVID mode in a game. This is the first game where I've ever experienced that. But anyway, let's jump on board. I've got the Pantograph pulled down, so I'll show you how that works. So you can basically look around with the mouse, and if you right-click, it gives you the mouse cursor, and you can click like that. Or if you're really good, you can kind of guess where the center point is, like that, and just left-click. Oh, I'm gonna get... Okay. I've got trapped. Let me get in there and do it. Let me do that. There you go. And then you press E to get in your seat. Right, so here we are. We're in the actual cockpit. You can't open any windows. There's no squeaky windows like OMSI, so that is a huge negative for me. I jest. The fuse box panel is in-op, doesn't do anything. The master key is likewise in-op. This, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I don't read German, but maybe something to do with voltages. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave that well alone. And then you've got these screens which do display stuff, but they're not like operational touch screens here. This one doesn't do anything. This one is operational but not clickable. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, crikey, look at that. Oh, okay. That's a new one. Did not click that before. None of these are clickable. I guess they're just display buttons. And then we've got wipers here, which are not clickable, which brings me on to the weather, actually. There's no way of changing the weather. So I think it's always sunny in Vienna. So I think that's probably why they didn't bother with the wipers, because you can't change the weather. You've got a right and a left camera. The left camera goes off when you get above a certain speed. And then there's obviously your speedometer in kilometers per hour. You'll see all this stuff illuminate as we drive along. Over here on the right panel, here's your hazard lights. You can press the F key and do the same thing. It has a standing button, but I don't actually think it does anything. Same with the headlight button. I'm not sure if it doesn't illuminate, so I assume it's doing nothing. This is not click. Oh yes, it is movable, but I don't know what it does. I probably just broke something. Maybe that's a power restrictor. Actually, I can't work out how to put it back now. I can't drag it. Oh well. This is the Pantograph. So the Pantograph is currently down. I'll get the external camera. If you press the 3 key, it gives you like an external camera, and it is more or less a free camera, and then press the 1 to get back in. So if we put the Pantograph up, it sort of bounces its way up and connects to the power rail. And obviously you can pull it back down again. This is the parking light that illuminates when you're parked. This, I don't know. This, I don't know. And this is another problem, guys. There's no manual. I had a look on the disk, the installation folder. It's 14 gigabytes, I think it is. It's quite big for an indie game with one root. But I can't find a manual. And I don't speak German, so a lot of this stuff is a bit, what? I could bring up Google Translate, but, you know, I wanted to get this first look video out. So here's the door control, right? The door control is, these are the main ones. This is the left, the arm button open and the arm button close. So if you have this armed, they can press the button and open the door, but otherwise the door stay closed. If you press this one, it basically disables that so they can't get out anymore and you have them trapped. I jest. This one here is open all doors. So if you click this, it will open. Let me get the camera so you can actually see. There's no doors on the right side, by the way, on the left side. Only on the right. So that opens all the doors and they automatically close, and this one closes and locks them. And then you got this, which is a bell, and then this one opens the front door only. Hang on camera, so it opens the front door only. Now these are also mapped on the keypad, which is handy. This is 1 and 3, 4 and 6, 7 and 9 on the numeric keypad, so they're pretty well done. However, there's no way to change the controls. You can't remap them in any way. I mean, this is 2020 we're talking about here. There's a game where I can't even change the controls. Having said that, the controls are fairly decent, so we'll let them off a little bit. But not being able to remap a button is just, what? Is that a thing? Let me shut the doors. Right, now, we are currently in free mode, but there's no timetable. The display here is not showing any kind of a time. So I'm in free mode. I'm at the, I think, the top end of the route. Something Plaza. There's no route map either, so I don't know. But there is a bit of a hint. If you go up here, and when it goes dark, if you click it, you can change whether you go into like a timetable mode now. So this is our current time. I could, for example, change that to 11, and when I click that, it will become 11 a.m. exactly, and it will also enunciate on here, you see. And then if I go here, I can choose a timetable. So rather than being free mode, I can try to run a timetable. So we'll do that. So this one is route 1. It goes from Prater, so that's not good. We'll go route 2. That goes from where we are now, Stefan Fadinger. But that's at 8:58 a.m. So we'll keep going through until we find something more palpable. 11, let's maybe go after 12. Route 13, let's keep going. Nope, there's no more routes. Okay, all right. So the way it seems to work, and again, there's no manual, but the way I figured it out is you kind of set your local time first, and then it seems to generate routes about an hour around that kind of time. So if we go back to, let's say, that one, 11:44, right? 11:44 from Stefan, so we'll click enter on that, and then we'll go back to this, and we'll set this to around about 11:39. Sorry, 11:40, that'll be enough. So it gives us 4 minutes, right? 4 minutes to get there. So we go back in now, and you can see we've got 3.5 minutes wait, which is what the W is, I think. Now we can operate the controls. So the way they work is Q to go forward, Z to come back, and if you press the A key, it centers it. So the Q key is different levels of power, which is kind of shown here, as you can see. And if you press the A key, it goes into like a neutral cruise. It doesn't keep the speed. It just goes into a neutral mode. So it will slowly decelerate due to friction and stuff. And if you press the Z key, it starts to decelerate. So what we need to do, press the A key.
Wintenstrasse.
See, I got that one right. Now, what we're looking for is a little yellow dot on the floor. That's where we want our cab to be. So if we kind of decelerate, go into cruise, we're looking for a yellow... There it is, you see? See that dot? You want to stop your cab on that dot. Now, it's fine until it's a sunny day, and then you can't quite see the yellow dot. So we want to press the number 4 key, or we'll click that, which will arm the external doors. So now they can just press the button and get on and off. And that's how it works. If you press the 1 key, that would open all the doors, but there's no point. Just the 4 key is fine. You can't move right now because what you've done is arm the doors, but you need to disarm them before it'll let you move. It doesn't really teach you this in the tutorial. There are 2 tutorials in the game, and neither of them really explain that to you. But what you need to do is press the 6 key or the green key when you want to actually go. However, we don't want to go just yet because we are 3 minutes early. So if you're not in free mode and you're in timetable mode, it kind of tells you what to do in that regard. Press the E key. We'll just get up and have a walk around while we've got a bit of time. So we can click and open that. And as you can see, the modeling inside the actual tram itself is... sorry, mate, I'm keeping distance. The modeling inside the tram itself is pretty good. you know, you can't complain about the actual modeling. The textures are not 4K, but they're not bad. However, nothing else is operational apart from the door, so none of this stuff actually does anything. I don't know if you control any lights. I didn't pay attention to whether that display works or not. It looks like it kind of does. But because we've got the doors in arm mode, we can actually freely get on and off. And we can run around by using the shift key. We can't jump. And you can see... I mean, I'll let you decide how good this modeling is. It's AI, right? It's AI people. You know, the textures are pretty decent. It's very OMSI in the way they posture themselves. And the way they move around. They do move around. They do get on and off the train. It's not perfect. They do bash into each other. Occasionally it'll despawn people when it gets stuck. But more importantly, there's no audio coming from the passengers. They don't say anything. Like, you occasionally hear background audio samples, but you don't see them. They don't get on. They don't talk to each other. They don't interact with you. They don't go, ooh, when you go quickly around a bend. Like, there's just nothing. They're just ghosts that kind of get on your tram. Something to be aware of. Anyway, we'll wait 1.5 minutes and then we shall depart. Right, we're on 0 time, so we press the 6 key or the green key and lock the doors and then press the Q key to bring in the power. And off we go. So we're going to go max power. Pay attention to that left camera. It disarms when you get above a certain speed. There you go. And you're looking around this bit, you're looking like 40, 50 kilometers, something like that. It's not overly... Anything above 50 and you're basically speeding. So that was the alarm because the passenger wants to get off. It says halten. We're putting cruise there. And you can get an idea, we need to be leaving that station in half a minute. So that station should be down the road here. I worked out how to turn that dial, by the way. You hold the mouse button and go left and mouse. Left and mouse? What? You hold the left mouse button and you move it left and right, not up and down, not mouse click, not mouse wheel. It's hold left and right is how you move those switches, by the way. Just in case you do what I did and you fiddled and don't know how you fixed it. So we're looking for the yellow dot on the ground. This one will be fairly hard to spot, I imagine. But it is just before the zebra crossing, mostly. It doesn't even look like a stop, this one. Look at it. But there it is, you see it? Just there. Press the arm key. And people should, in theory, wander over. There you go. As you can see, they kind of glitched their way over. The pathing in the AI is okay. But it's not amazing. And you will see, as we play this, you will see some conflict as they're going along. Right, we'll press the 6 key because we're already on 0 time. Look up and see the sign, and that says we can't go. The horizontal line means we can't go. There's no manual, but if you go into the settings, like the tutorial bit, there is a list of... in fact, I'll do that now just to show you. If you go to settings, game... No, none of this. Tutorials, tram challenge, we'll cover them in a second. Controls, general help. This one's, there you go, signals, there you go. So we've got do not follow, proceed left, proceed right, proceed ahead. Stop for all directions, proceed straight ahead. So they are listed in here, the different lighter controls, and also the right of way, where if you've got more than one tram at a junction, who's got right of way? Well, it's the one with the lowest number. The speed limit signs, which become important. The game itself doesn't seem to sort of, you know, end things when you speed. The game is built on what it calls TSP or Tramsim points, so it's a bit like Train Sim World. You kind of, you get points for doing things well. You know, if you stick to the speed limits and all the rest of it, stop in the right place, don't throw the passengers around, then you'll, you know, don't run any red lights as well, I imagine. You'll get Tramsim points, which they can't be cashed in for anything else. So graphically, as you can see, 60 FPS is working pretty well. Graphically, I think this game works pretty well. Let me just find the yellow dots. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful stop that was. They should be applauding back there. Let's see what happens over here. There's a few passengers here. There you go. So one's glitching out through the door. And then she gets despawned. So this guy can now move in. And as you kind of pay attention to the stuff, you realise that they are a little bit janky in places. But, you know, we're kind of used to that stuff. We'll press the 6 key. And off we go. Now, because we're turning... Oh, hang on. That just became a stop sign. I don't really know why. It just became a stop sign. Now, as we're going down the track here and we're turning right, the tutorial kind of says that, you know, you're on the road with other road users, so you should be indicating. The way you indicate is with either this switch here, right, or you can use the numeric keypad /*, which sounds stupid, but actually works very well because they're laid out in order. Like I said, the controls by default aren't rubbish. So the minus key on the numpad will indicate right, and the / key will go left, and the asterisk key, or the multiplication key, will center it again. Is this actually going to change today? Good grief. And the lights are on red down there as well. In terms of AI vehicles, the only thing I've seen is cars. I don't really see anything else. Now, maybe Vienna's got heavy vehicles banned anyway, so we can go now, because that means right only. Maybe Vienna has got heavy vehicles banned, like trucks and vans and things like that, but there's literally nothing else. Let me indicate. There's nothing else. There's no emergency services, fire trucks, any other truck, van, nothing. It is just cars. That's the biggest thing you'll see. Whether that's a deliberate choice, I don't know. But I mean, the cars that are there look reasonably good. They're modern. They certainly look the kind of cars that you would see. Graphically, like I say, it's quite an interesting route, so you can't knock them for that. Right, let's make sure we stop here. I think we're a little bit late, actually, on this. We need to get a wiggle on. So we'll stop there, press the 4 key. Let's people watch for a second, see how they handle this situation. It says up there on the sign, number 1 from Stefan Fadingerplatz. Crikey, she looks a bit unwell. Right, 6 key. And we're already late by half a minute, so we need those doors to close. Go on, let's go. It still says the door's open. Are you holding that door open? Wow, she was she was literally just stood there pressing the button going, nope, you're not going anywhere. So what I did was I pressed the 3 key, which forces the door to close. So anyway, I mean, this is the essence of the game. It's drive a tram through Vienna. It's a single route. There's a single train. The scenery's nice. Will they release more routes? I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for this game. I assume it's going to function a little bit like OMSI, in that you'll be able to create trains for it as mods, tracks as mods, but I don't know if it's moddable. I really have no clue. I've not seen any information to say that it is moddable. So I'm kind of assuming it's not right now. Let's press the number 4 key. So, you know, that's kind of shown you the gameplay aspects and the timetable aspects and how you control the tram and the train. We'll have a quick look through the menu and then we'll carry on. I'll give you my summary. So when you're in the main menu, the first thing that you notice is the complete lack of audio. Like, there's nothing. There's no music, which is fine with me because, you know, DMCA. But in the settings, like, you click on things and there's just no kind of significant noise to say, hey, you know, you've clicked something, right? This is what you get in terms of graphic settings. It is not really controllable. There's just like 4 settings really in your resolution, whether you want VSync and whether you want to limit your FPS. In terms of the gameplay, it's just mouse speed and driver head movements. Not a lot going on. Profile, you get one profile. You can click on it and reset it, but apart from that, you can't do anything. This just collects your statistics. Tram challenges. So you've got these tram challenges, right? You've got a few of them. You've got this perfect stop, which is where you have to kind of drive along and then stop at a specific point. I mean, I can actually quickly show you that in a second. But, you know, then there's not a lot there. They're kind of fun for about 10 minutes. Tutorials, there's a missing tutorial. So the scenario 1, you get forced to watch initially that teaches you the basics. And then it jumps to scenario 3, which is about the gameplay. So you've got the basics and then the gameplay. And in between, there's supposed to be another one about signaling, which just seems to have disappeared. You've got your tram challenges. So these are the ones that I was talking about here. The door stop, perfect stop, mind the gap. So this one, the perfect stop, you accelerate the tram and then brake within a certain marker. And then you get some points for it and some claps. Actually, you don't even get clapped. Controls are here. Like I say, they're not changeable. but they are intuitive. QAZ is intuitive in terms of acceleration, neutral, brake, and then these numpads work quite nicely. General controls, 1, 2, 3, 4 for your cameras, space to center your HUD, H to turn the HUD on and off, and then WASD to walk around and shift to run. So it's all fairly intuitive. It's just not in any way changeable. And then in general help, that's the general help, and then that's the stuff about the signals, and that is the sum total of the documentation that you get in this game. Like I say, you get one vehicle. It tells you the controls in here, but you already knew them anyway. And then, hang on, let's come back out again. One vehicle, and then the repaint. If you actually read the English section, it says, put it in Steam library, Team Apps, not Steam Apps. Common Tramsim Vienna repaints. So effectively, you can make your own repaints of that. But it doesn't look like you can actually mod anything. I don't think you can anyway. And then when you go to create a new game, effectively you've got two modes: the open world where you do what you like, and then timetable mode where you try to run the timetable that I just showed you. You've got one route, you've got one vehicle, and your direction of travel is from one end to the other, but you can change where you end, and then the time of day and whether you want COVID mode, and that's that. So in summary, what do I think about this game? Do you see all those passengers stood on that sign then? Did you see that? So that's the first thing, right? Quality control. There's definitely some quality control problems going on here. There's no tooltips in English, right? So if I hover over a control, I don't know what it does sometimes, and there's no manual I can go and look up with an English translation. So for an English speaker, it's a little bit of a struggle. I would have liked to have seen tooltips and things to help me out, or at very least a manual to help me out. In terms of polish, I still see issues. I see AI glitching around. I've seen English translation errors, not just in spelling, but also in parts just not even translated from German. I've seen that kind of stuff. A lack of manual is a big thing for me. If we're going to have a sim like this, I would expect a manual to explain the route, the stops, the timetables, just list everything out. The train or the tram itself with the controls, I would like to see some documentation on that. So I think quality control isn't quite there. The delivery of the spec and the information, if you like, isn't quite there. We've got the basic route. There's only one route, 25 kilometers long. It'll take you about 50 minutes to go from one end to the other. And you can only do it in one tram. So there's a replayability question here. How many times can I drive up and down this single route before I get bored? And I think that is, a significant question that you need to be asking yourself. Because when it comes down to it, it's kind of like, it's trying to be like an OMSI for trams. But, OMSI has, for example, track IR. I don't know track IR in this. There's none of it. But it is implemented in a nice Unreal Engine, so it has the potential going forward to add more routes and more trams and to be, a significantly enjoyable game. But as it stands at the moment, the price tag of, I think, £31.59 on Steam. £31. That's knocking on for $40+ for a game with one route and one vehicle. And not a lot of polish. And that's where I think it falls down. I don't think it delivers at that price tag. I think, if this was a $20 game, $25 game, you could have a bit of fun with it, but after a couple of hours of playing this game, I don't really see you playing it until there's more content. So my advice, I guess, in summary, is wait until it's on sale or wait till there's more content out and then pick it up, because as it stands right now, you're not going to get £30 worth of value out of this game. So nice try. Hope to see more in the future from this game, but as it stands right now, at this price point, it's just not enough here to keep me interested. That's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this kind of first look video. Until the next one, take care. Happy tramming.